Hi, my name is Katalina Salas, and I'm currently a PhD student in the Environmental Science and Engineering program here at UTEP. I was born and raised here in El Paso, Texas. As a child, I was always very fond of nature and science. I was lucky enough to be raised by a science teacher, my mom. Most of our weekends were spent doing science experiments or going on hikes to learn about the outdoors. I knew very early that I wanted to study science, but I was quite unsure what specific topic, especially going into high school. I attended Mission Early College High School, which was the first step that led me to an alternative education, where I graduated with my associates before my high school diploma. This opened many doors for me in college. I was granted the opportunity to attend the research cruise on the Roger Revel. I was also given the chance to go to Indonesia for a summer to conduct research for a graduate student. I learned a lot on these trips about language and breaking barriers and education and learning from a teacher's perspective and from the students. Because of these trips, I was given my first opportunity to guest lecture at Enzer Middle. I also became actively involved in education outreach, including dino digs with the Girl Scouts. I graduated in 2014 with my bachelor's in geology. I was still only 19 years old, so I decided to continue and get my master's. The St. Edward's program involved 1 year in Austin and another year in France. When in France, I gained another tool set, which allowed me to understand that science is different in other countries. I learned that you need to be very adaptive in science. This is also where I learned about sustainability. Upon my return from France, I interned at the Office of Resilience and Sustainability for the city. As an intern, I created activities for students and other community members to learn about resilience and sustainability. I also conducted a study on food deserts. This was my first connection to food, education, and water in the region. I finished my master's in 2016, but was still not satisfied with the toolsets that I needed to become a better teacher in sustainability. So I decided to come back to UTEP and obtain my PhD. Of course, most people thought I was insane, but I've always been one to push myself mentally and physically. I knew going into my PhD, I wanted to learn more about science education and mentoring for science in women and Hispanics. I was drawn to a class about water sustainability in Peru with the Green Program. This is where my interest with water kindled. Going to a place with a large water resource but large water issues made me wonder what a place with no water was actually facing. Upon return from Peru, I started interning at La Semilla, a nonprofit in Anthony, New Mexico. Their mission is to foster a healthy and sustainable food system, which I became a part of. I created educational materials for the farm and also a pollinator activity to conduct at the farmers market. La Semilla also runs a summer program called Weed and Seed in Las Cruces, New Mexico, where we teach students about the garden and how to cook food. I was also able to teach my family about native foods in the desert. As mentioned earlier, one of my goals was to become a better mentor, so I'm part of SACNAS, Students Green Team, and Geology Club, where I am trying to increase representation for Hispanics and women. Now I am going to circle back to my research. I want to understand how students make decisions about the environment around them, so I will be conducting a lot of workshops similar to our class. From my findings, I want to develop a framework and then develop curriculum using WIC's competencies for undergraduates. As a future educator, I hope to promote collaboration and interdisciplinary thinkers such as myself. I hope to represent women in science and mentor them and learn from students, then teach them. I hope to create an atmosphere of open collaboration and interdisciplinary learning, develop materials to promote Ember's framework, and link the environment to the society. I will be using lots of mental models, stakeholder analysis, technology, and lots of sticky notes. I plan to continue traveling to learn about education across the globe, and I hope that will make me a better teacher.